So, Brother Faisal Shaikh, you are, leading the Faisal Bank conversion that, as knowingly, is probably the largest, conversion project so far of a conventional bank to an Islamic bank, right? And this is, I think, around the world, right? And mashallah, you have converted successfully more than 600 branches to date, right? So we need to, learn from you this experience briefly, but please share your experience of conversion. I think this is very important, especially in the backdrop of the ruling of the Federal Sharia Code, because what you went through can be actually the footsteps that probably all other banks have to follow very soon. So that's why I think your experience is extremely relevant and very important. So please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. As Brother Farooq Raza said, he never shared any question before the start of this session. But I was expecting, because everyone asked me about this conversion experience. First of all, one clarification. We had 215 branches when we started the conversion process, 215 conventional branches. And when we obviously started the conversion, we also started expansion of the bank. So we opened more than 340 branches. And at the moment, we have got 615 branches. Out of 615, 610 are Islamic, only 5 left. Alhamdulillah, we have converted 210 branches. And we will be, inshallah, converting 4 branches on June the 25th of this month. In fact, today is May 31st, inshallah, we'll be converting. We have already issued notices to the depositors, and we'll be converting 4 more branches by June 25. So we'll be left with only 1 branches as at, inshallah ta'ala, June 30th, and we'll be converting. And we plan to actually surrender our conventional banking license before the end of this year, inshallah ta'ala. Just a few numbers as well. We, alhamdulillah, at the moment, we are actually, our asset book is more than 91% Islamic, alhamdulillah. And in fact, the financing book, sorry. The investment book is, we are actually trying to get sukuk as many as we could, because, in this forum we discussed many times that the supply of sukuk is not adequate. But alhamdulillah, we have been able to convert most of our investment book as well, and we inshallah plan to convert the full investment book by June or August, inshallah, by July or August, inshallah ta'ala, if everything goes fine. I mean, the sukuk issuance by the government, as per the calendar, if it goes as per the calendar, we'll be inshallah converting the whole book, inshallah ta'ala. The conversion process is almost complete. I mean, the process is almost complete. Only 10 to 15% assets which are in Pakistan, I don't know what you call internationally, we call the provided asset, we call it special assets under special management. So those assets are a challenge, and there are few assets which require approvals from many other agencies. I mean, there are, in Pakistan, we have got state bank facilities, which are discounted facilities for the banks to finance certain sectors of the economy. Like, for example, we have got a scheme in state bank where we can finance projects which are based on green energy, for example, the solar power projects. And the big project, you need approval from Alternate Energy Development Board, EADB, in Islamabad. So if you would like to convert that facility, you have to get approvals from them. So the only big financing we are left with are financings from such financing which require approvals from many other agencies. So, alhamdulillah, the project is complete. But as Brother Farooq Raza asked me to share the experience, I think the first building block of any conversion process of any conventional bank requires Nia. When we started this project, everyone said that it's very difficult to convert 200 branches. In fact, you don't have any model to follow, or there are we have at that time more than 500,000 accounts were there in the conventional bank, in the conventional branches of our bank. So everyone was saying that it's practically impossible to convert so many accounts, so many financing. But I think the most important part is your niyat. When you do a niyat that I would like to follow the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, and you know, this is my 22nd year in Islamic finance, and I worked for almost 17 years for full-fledged Islamic commercial banks. When I joined Faisal Bank in 2017, this was my first experience to work for a Islamic branch of a conventional bank. So when at that time, and when someone asked me about, you know, in Pakistan, many times you go to your social gatherings, many people comes to you and then they say to you कि दिल पे हाथ रख के बताओ सही है कि नहीं है, क्योंकि जो है ना वो तुम बताओ मैं क़यामत के रोज़ तुम्हें पकड़ लूँगा, for example. ये I don't know how to put this in English with these emotions. So it's sometimes become difficult. I mean, you know, we try our best, but then obviously everything a human do, sometimes there are some mistakes which are inadmitted. But you know, when people, especially the old age people, when they say like that, you become, you know, there is some kind of fear inside yourself that someone is saying, I'll you know, पकड़ लूँगा मैं तुम्हें गिरबान से क़यामत के रोज़.
I'll grab you.
I'll grab you. So, you know, when I came to Faisal Bank, and the kind of the help that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon us, it was unprecedented. I mean, now, you know, there are levels of yaqeen. In Quran, this is haqqul yaqeen, there's anul yaqeen, and I can't say it's anul yaqeen, but you know, haqqul yaqeen, the process of haqqul yaqeen on the Islamic finance, alhamdulillah, for me, I believe that Islamic finance is something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to be implemented in any country like Pakistan, for example. The first thing is your niyat should be correct, and then whenever you have to divide your financing book in parts. For example, there are in Pakistan, we have got sectors, for example, chemical sector, for example, for textile sector, and within textile sector, there are sub-sector. So you have to divide your financing book into convertible portfolio and non-convertible portfolio. The first thing, you have to focus on convertible portfolio. The customers, in fact, alhamdulillah, when Faisal Bank started the conversion process, Mizan Bank was there. Many Islamic banks, 5 Islamic banks were there which were providing financing. So we targeted first those customers which were banking with other Islamic banks as well. They are the most easiest one to target. And then we obviously targeted that segment, and then other segment were targeted. And once those numbers were converted, it was easier to convince other customers that we have converted so much portfolio, and now you are obviously your financing will be converted in few months, inshallah. And customer gets confidence. For example, if you inform them that you have converted so much portfolio, they have the confidence, then they cooperate with you. And obviously the other part is the liability side, and I would like to especially thank the State Bank of Pakistan, which allowed us to use the deemed approval process, whereby we in the initial phase we used the specific approvals when we wrote the letter to the customer, and we required the customer to come to the branches and sign a consent form and the mudarba terms and condition to convert those accounts. But as we progress, and in fact COVID was a blessing in disguise for us. You know, branches were closed, so we contacted State Bank of Pakistan, and we said that it's difficult to you know, invite the customer to the branches. So please allow us a deemed approval, because State Bank of Pakistan had allowed deemed approval process to other banks which we converted before. I mean, Societe Generale, HSBC and KSB Bank were converted before Faisal Bank. Those were small banks, but State Bank at that time allowed that approach. And we used that approach, and alhamdulillah, because of that approach, we were able to convert most of our accounts. Only very, very few people actually objected to the conversion process. Alhamdulillah, at the moment, as I was explaining at the start of my talk, that we have alhamdulillah converted more than 210 branches, and a very, very few customer, I mean a handful of customers, 100, 200 customers actually objected to the process. Almost all other customers actually embraced the conversion process, and now they are actually operating their accounts according to Islamic Sharia.
Thank you, Brother Faisal. Really, really, insightful. We'll come back to you and we'll talk about, more about this, in a little bit more depth. But I would like to dwell on a very important point that you touched. And you said the first and the foremost thing is actually making the niyyah.
Yes.
Who makes this niyyah?
It has to be by the CEO and the Mancom. It has to be. It doesn't
CEO
matter if the branch manager does the NIA, because it will help actually. But the conversion process of a bank, it has to come from the CEO. It has to. Because the type of difficulties which you will be facing during the conversion process, only the CEO has to actually face those and then take the decisions to tackle with those difficulties.
So is the board of directors exempt of that niyyah?
Obviously
Sorry,
not.
it's my governance background that's speaking. Yeah.
Obviously, the decision to convert came from board of directors. I
Okay.
mean, the decision came from board of directors, but it came in 2014, and none of the branches were converted till 2018. So for me, niyat from board of director was there because the decision was there.
I see. Okay, so there are two levels of niyat, board of directors,
Yes.
and then the execution
The
is
execution part has to
the
be
CEO and the management. Thank you very much.